All right, well, critical budget issues are piling up in Washington, D.C., and partisan gridlock means there's absolutely no solution in sight. A $300 billion tax hike, you got dangerous cuts to defense, and the country defaulting on its debts if the House and the Senate, Republicans and Democrats, just can't work together. Joining us now, Republican Congresswoman Mary Bono Mack from California. She's also chair, I'm going to call you chairwoman. It says chairman. Can I call you chairwoman? Of the newly formed Women's Policy Committee in the House. It does say you're chairman. You should have the chairwoman title.
I know, but we said chairmen the way freshmen are freshmen, not freshmen.
Okay,
so
I'll go with it.
I'll
go with it.
Yeah,
I'll go with it. All right, so I want to talk about that, but first we do have to talk about our looming debt. August, my birthday's in August. My birthday present last year was, downgrades, defaults, you name it. The market crashed. Are we going to see that again this year?
Well, I think it's going to be a difficult August. There's been nothing put in place by this president that has made a difference for this country. Right. I think times are tough. Everywhere you look, you can't even say to somebody, name one part of your life that's a little bit better today than it was 4 years ago. And I know that's a little bit cliched, but it's really true. So I think this August we should really expect some tough battles. I think we're going to fight it out about whether or not we should raise taxes. Of course, we shouldn't be raising taxes on people in this economy, if ever, especially on the job creator. So I think you should expect it. I'm sorry to say your birthday might be a little bit different.
Apparently, it would be deja vu all over again. What's interesting to me is even if you are starting to feel a little bit better about things, there's so much looming. These tax breaks, 70% of the people affected by these tax breaks that could go away are low to middle income people. You're talking about the AMT, the marriage penalty, child tax credits, things like that, all looking to explode at the end of the year. I would think that the Democrats in particular would be on board to want to make sure this is okay.
Well, you know that they've used this as sort of their campaign rhetoric. It's part of how we divide America. It's us versus them, and it plays right into sort of their playbook. But not only that, you think the median household is making $3,400 less every year,
right.
And now you're talking about increasing taxes. Plus, we have higher energy costs, plus higher food costs, higher health care costs. I mean, higher tuition. You name it. It's a tough scenario right now in America.
So what's it going to take? What's it going to take to do this right? I mean, we don't want this to go to the lame duck session because then we'll never get anything done. Or will we?
Well, that depends. I think the whole mood of the Congress can change. I think everybody's going to wait and see who our next president will be. And I think it's going to be a jump ball, truly, at that point. I don't know that anybody can really prognosticate what's going to happen after November as far as the mood of the Congress or what will come out of the Congress. So, in my view, it could go either way.
And I think that's the unsettling part, right? There's no one knows which way this thing is going.
But it's been unsettling for the past, 4 years anyway. There has been so much uncertainty and regulatory uncertainty coming out of this White House that people are now used to the uncertainty, and it is really hurting our economy.
And it makes us very nervous, which brings us to the Women's Policy Committee that you started. Why do this? I mean, many will argue that why discriminate between men and women? We all have issues right now.
Well, it's not discriminating. If men want to join the Republican Women's Policy Committee. But look, it's my view that there are a lot of very talented, intelligent, hardworking Republican women in the Congress, and we just need to sort of elevate their status a bit. People need to see that there are hardworking women within the Republican Party who represent their values. The Democrats do not have a corner on the women's vote by any means, but we need to push our women out there a little bit more and just totally highlight their hard work.
It's interesting because the Democrats will lead you to believe they have a corner on the women's vote.
They're sure trying that. They're not successful. We know that women really are warming up and kind of really upset. Let me rephrase it. They're upset about the Obama presidency. They're not buying into this rhetoric about the war on women. They care about jobs and the economy like everybody else does. This administration cannot sell a rosier picture than they've already been dousing on the American people.
And maybe more so, I would almost argue, than men, because there's a lot of single mother households out there. I'm one of them. And we have to deal with a lot of different things.
Right.
We are thinking about, the kids and money 24/7.
That's right. And I think that's one of the differences to some degree, and we were talking during the break. Women constantly fret. When we're at work, we're worrying about our kids. When we're with our kids, we're worrying about work. And that is an awful lot. In this economy with looming tax hikes, look, our kids are not safe for getting to school. It's not cheaper to get them to school, to clothe them for getting to school. It's really a lot for single working women all women, you know, because again, I think that's a little bit of the difference. I think it's hard to get into gender politics, but men compartmentalize a little bit better than I think we do sometimes.
Yes, and sometimes I'm jealous that they could do that, because I got too much going on in my head some days. But even households, married households, the women are running the finances. Sure. So we're very in touch with what dollar goes in and what dollar comes out.
Right.
And it's important, I think, that people know that this group is not talking about shoes and, you know, where you're getting your hair done.
Oh, no.
We are talking about jobs in the economy.
We're talking about all of the same policies. Look, there is no difference between women's and men's issues. Women care about the same jobs in the economy. But, you know, sometimes we phrase it differently. When you talk about Obamacare, I think that we all think as mothers we can endure anything. But when you start talking about a government bureaucrat choosing your pediatrician, I mean, them's fighting words.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. It's good stuff. I'm glad you're doing it.
Thank you.
Thank you for being with us. Congresswoman Mack, thank you. All right, well, coming up.